On this video, we want to explore how we can use simulation models and in particular agent-based models to help university students learn very complex topics that are very difficult to address with traditional methods. So even though we're talking about university students, this applies to anyone who wants to learn anything. So we want to see if simulation models actually works as a great learning tool. Let's get started. So I want to start with this model in which you have different agents moving randomly in an environment. And it's interesting to see in here that each agent interacts with the environment in a way that is very individual. And this generates this artistic environment behavior or system behavior that is very pleasing for the human eye to see. So it's impossible to really predict what kind of shape and form the system would create. And this is why doing the simulation model with agents that have individual characteristics shows us behaviors of the system that are very difficult to predict. And by playing with the different parameters of the system, we can learn much more from the system by experimenting with it. Agent-based modeling has become very popular, in particular in the health studies. And this is mostly thanks to COVID that has increased the awareness related to simulation models in the world. In this paper from Silverman in 2021, he describes the characteristics of complex systems such as emergence, nonlinearity, and adaptive behavior. These things are very counterintuitive for the human mind to process. And the author explained how all these characteristics present a challenge when trying to represent and study using traditional tools in health-related studies. Teaching epidemiology requires a delivery of concepts which cover different disciplines, such as studying of public health, medicine, nursing, and so on. It also touches upon a wide variety of basic sciences, such as mathematics and biochemistry. This presents unique challenges in knowledge transfer from the educator, and agent-based models are proving to be useful for learning invisible, dynamic, and unpredictable scientific phenomena like epidemics. This is because the physical epidemiological phenomena that occurs through space can be easily visualized in agent-based models. And there are a bunch of studies that have touched this topic in many domains. So let's see what they have to say. For instance, this paper from 2019 shows that agent-based simulations as a teaching tool aids students in understanding the reason that phenomena occurs the way it does. This is known as mechanistic reasoning. And agent-based models provide students with a visual representation and a deeper understanding on the evolution of emergent systems. Also, students get the chance to practice the notion of disintegrating problems into smaller components. And this is known as problem decomposition, which is an essential concept in scientific modeling. In this study, also, the results show that students get more involved in the modeling process, and this increases their critical thinking and the ability to understand the underlying mechanisms of the occurring phenomena. On this other study from 2019, they compare two different approaches to learning. One of them is using simulation models and an exploratory method in order to understand the phenomena, and in another one, they just use written scripts, which is very traditional way to learning difficult concepts. And what they discover is through exploration in an agent-based model, the results of learning were much better, and also using a lower mental effort to learn these complex topics. On this other study from 2020, they talk about best practices to be able to use the simulation model in the best way to learning. And they say a simulation model shouldn't be used as a game, but instead should be used as a tool for reflection, which means that the best approach was for the students to think about the problem and spend time discussing it. And after they thought about it, they go to the simulation model to test their hypothesis and see the behavior. This is more a scientific approach to learning. Finally, in this study from 2016, where they tried to use simulation models to teach about university level physics, they discovered that by using simulation as an exploratory tool where students can change parameters to see the behavior of the model, when they change these parameters, they learn much more and they become more scientific in the way they resolve their problems. And also, they showed that the students were having more fun and engaging more in the teaching methodology. So simulations is not also better to learn, but also more engaging for students. It is clear from this discussion that simulation models should be used more in university degrees and also even in schools because they provide a very engaging way to learn about very complex topics. So we are touching only the surface. There's a lot more research related to the topic. And if you're interested, just go and do additional research. See you on the next video.